Hi, I'm Lori Barnes, the astrologer who helps people find their true calling and take action towards manifesting it. Today, I'm talking to you about the Capricorn new moon coming up this Thursday, January 11th. If you are living on the West Coast, the new moon phase is going to begin Thursday morning at 6:57 a.m. And if you're on the East Coast of the US, it's 9:57 a.m. And if you are in Rome, Italy, where I'm broadcasting from, it'll be in the afternoon at 3:57 p.m. The location of the new moon is 20 degrees of Capricorn. You'll want to know what house is occupied by the sign of Capricorn. That's the main sign that we're talking about today with the new moon. And then I'm going to also talk about Aquarius because Pluto will be moving into Aquarius shortly. And so whenever you look at your chart, the themes and topics associated with the house where Capricorn is going to make that even more detailed for you. If you're new to astrology, or you're just getting started, you're a student and you would like to have a reference for the different houses and their meanings, I have a blog that I wrote and I'll link to that below so you can go and see what the meanings are of the different astrology houses. And if you don't have a copy of your chart, you can get one free. There's many online chart generators, and the ones that I use are astro.com or astro-seek.com. They will both generate your birth chart for free. You'll just need the date, the time that you were born, and the city, the location that you were born. Okay, so Capricorn new moon. A new moon, generally speaking, is about new beginnings. It's when a seed is planted. And a new moon is when the sky is at its darkest. It's the kickoff of the whole cycle, the whole monthly cycle, the lunar cycle. And during this upcoming new moon phase, when we move into it on Thursday, it's a really good time to kick off your goals and vision for 2024. We have all the planets moving in direct motion, which doesn't happen all that often. Usually some planet is retrograde. But for the remainder of January and all of February, and March, the planets are all moving forward. So we kind of have this stretch of time where the focus is forward. And we won't have a retrograde again until Mercury goes retrograde on April the 1st. So plan on pushing forward your new projects and ideas. It syncs up perfectly with the new year. You're going to have this stretch of time until mid-March to do that. And then around mid-March, when we go into the pre-shadow phase of Mercury retrograde, then it'll be time to kind of reflect back on what you do between now and then. So be intentional about setting your goals and vision for 2024. Speaking of goals and vision, if you haven't set your goals for 2024 yet, or you don't really have a vision yet of what you would like for it to look like, this would be something to do under the Capricorn new moon. So Thursday evening, if you work in the day, sit down and write up some things, because under this new moon phase, the Capricorn new moon phase, you can find it easier to write up a strategy, because strategy is one of the key words of Capricorn. Capricorn is an earth sign. It's of the earth element. And Capricorn is known for determination, tenacity, and shrewdness. There is a shadow side, like with all the signs, and the shadow side of Capricorn can be control or being controlling, overly rigid, cold, and ruthlessness would be a shadow side of Capricorn. Energetically, it's about setting boundaries, recognizing your limits, putting structure into place, and it represents where you work hard, where you have to work hard in life. It's a Saturn sign. Capricorn is a Saturn sign. So it's about where you build things and where you have to put in the effort. And Saturn is known for providing the rewards in life through effort. So it's a really good time for you to set realistic goals that you can manifest over a long period of time. A few days after the Capricorn new moon, Mercury is also going to move into Capricorn, and Mars is already there. So Mars went into Capricorn January the 4th. So now we have the sun, the new moon, Mars, and then shortly after the Capricorn new moon, Mercury is going to move in there. So we have a lot of Capricorn energy in the second half of January. With that abundance of Capricorn energy, it's a really good time to be structured, disciplined, and aware of what your limits are. You would be very wise to take advantage of this energy. Whatever you set your mind to accomplish is going to have this this solar energy, this extra vitality. You'll have this physical energy of Mars, which will add, help you with like the determination and to focus your effort towards what you want to do. And with Mercury there, it'll be like you have this mental determination and a good strategic plan to pull off what you want. So kind of using all these planets together in the sign of Capricorn, wherever it is in your chart. If you have Capricorn prominently placed in your chart, like it's your rising sign, or it's your midheaven sign, or it's your sun sign, or you have many different planets or points in the sign of Capricorn, this is a time period to really take advantage of where to put strategy and effort. And so that goes back to the houses again, like where is Capricorn in your chart? If it's your first house, it's all about you and like what you're going to accomplish for yourself, what you want to achieve for yourself and how you want to represent yourself, because the first house is about appearance. Your rising sign is about appearance. And if it's your second house, it's about building money. And if it's your third house, it's about your communication strategy and kind of your strategy for your surroundings. And fourth house is your home and your family. And fifth house is your creativity. And the sixth house is like your day-to-day organization. In fact, if you have Capricorn in your sixth house, this is a really good time to reorganize your workspace or your calendar. And your seventh house is about your partnerships. So whatever strategy you need, it's clients. Like if you're an astrologer like me, where you work for yourself, then that other side of your chart, the seventh house, is about your clients. So you may want to put together some strategies for how you're going to work with clients. Eighth house is about others' finances, and it can also be about psychotherapy. Like you might want to put some strategy around that if you feel like that would benefit you. Ninth house is your higher studies, like college or things that you choose to study, things that are going to expand your mind. And it is also foreign places. 10th house is your career, your work. The 11th house is your network and your friends. And the 12th house is more like spiritual studies or places of meditation and where you want to go within to have a better understanding of yourself. So look and see where Capricorn is in your chart, because it's really highlighted under the new moon, and you can really do some good work in that part of your chart, especially putting together goals for 2024, because it's the beginning of the year. I think you can be really surprised with how much extra energy and determination you have to put into it. Look at the house, but then think about what's really going on with you and what's really important to you, and use this energy. With this Capricorn new moon, it's like determination is in the air. And with all the planets moving direct, it's like roll up your sleeves and get to work. Capricorn is also one of the cardinal modalities, which is about taking action. It kind of pivots to whatever it needs to get done. It's natural leadership. The other cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, and Libra. So that just gives you even more information about why this Capricorn period of time is a good time to get your strategy in place and kick off a new phase of something. And if you have placements in your personal chart in those four signs, so Capricorn, Cancer, Libra, Aries, between 15 and 29 degrees, you're going to feel it more, because the new moon is at 20 degrees of Capricorn. Pluto is at 29 degrees of Capricorn, getting ready to move into Aquarius. So if you have planets or placements in the later degrees of Capricorn, then it's really signifying an activation in your chart. What you do this new moon and the rest of January can pay off for you down the road, like this whole year. And that's because Saturn, the ruler of Capricorn, Saturn's connected to Kronos, the god of time. So things developed under a Capricorn new moon are likely to have a long-term effect, and you can really gain some rewards, but after you put in that hard work. So it's really important to work on your goals during the Capricorn new moon, because this is energy that you're planting, like you're planting the seed that's going to sprout and grow over time. So put this energy to work. If you sit idle and do nothing, it won't probably cause you any problems, but it could be a missed opportunity. And who wants to miss a good opportunity? So we have this incredibly opportunistic energy that's available, but we have to go and do the work, right? So this message is even further highlighted by a tight sextile between Jupiter in Taurus, Mars in Capricorn, and Saturn in Pisces. A sextile is a 60-degree difference between the two planets, and it's a kind of a flowing, activating energy relationship. Aspects are relationships between planets. It'll help focus the energy, which is lovely. Having Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn working together is like having energy, like your physical, get things done energy, and optimism and determination, like all working together in harmony. And that's always something nice to have supporting a new moon. The other thing to mention is that the new moon in Capricorn, which is the sun and the moon together at 20 degrees Capricorn, they are at the bends with the lunar nodes, or at a 90-degree angle. The moon and the sun are going to be exactly squaring the transiting lunar nodes, which are in Aries and Libra. The North Node in Aries and the South Node is in Libra. This means that there can be results from your efforts, of course, over time, that seem fated, like it kind of took you in a direction that you needed to go. And this is especially true if your lunar node placements are in the cardinal signs. So Libra and Aries, or Cancer and Capricorn, because those are the two, they're always in pairs. The nodes are always opposite each other. So check that out in your chart. And then we have Pluto. So Pluto is in the very last degree of Capricorn, and it's going to be moving back into Aquarius shortly. Actually, it's going to happen Saturday, January the 20th. And this is significant. This is a big deal of Pluto changing signs, because it's a slow moving planet and it doesn't change signs all that often, except for when it's going retrograde back and forth when it first moves into a new sign. We had a shift, or we had a preview of this shift back in March of 2023 when it dipped into Aquarius the first time, but it didn't stay very long because it went retrograde. It went retrograde back into Capricorn, then in June, just a few months later, and it stayed there until now. And now it's going to go back into Aquarius. It's only going to retrograde back into Capricorn briefly again later this year. And then we have Pluto in Aquarius to stay. This is a big deal, and you'll want to look for the Aquarius part of your chart, because that's where Pluto is moving into. And of course, if you have placements in the early degrees of Aquarius, or the fixed signs, Aquarius and Leo, or Scorpio and Taurus, then that's going to activate that part of your chart. The cardinal signs were activated since 2008 when Pluto went into Capricorn. So it's been in Capricorn for a long time. You'll feel that pressure easing off if you're Aries, Cancer, Libra, or Capricorn, because Pluto is moving out of activating those signs and into activating the Aquarius, Leo, Taurus, and Scorpio part of your chart. If you have planets or points in the early degrees of the cardinal signs in Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, then you probably aren't feeling it so potently. But if you have planets or points like your rising sign, midheaven, in the late degrees of those signs, Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, then you're going to kind of feel that pressure ease when Pluto moves into Aquarius. That might be a positive thing to welcome this month in January. Pluto represents a time period of big change, but big change doesn't happen all the time. It's really important to look at your individual chart to get a better understanding of a slow moving planet like Pluto, like what is it activating in your chart? And then of course, what's going on in life. And, that can be quite complex to understand, and I would love to help you with that. So if you would like to schedule a consultation with me, I have a link below in the description. But on a world scale, with Pluto moving into Aquarius, we're moving into a new time period that's going to last until 2043. That's how long it's going to take for Pluto to go through Aquarius. Pluto's theme is power, power over, power under, or empowerment. Pluto in Capricorn was more about the traditional hierarchy, like power from the top down. But as we see Pluto moving into Aquarius, Aquarius is a sign of the people, of the masses, of humanity. We're going to have a few decades to see how Pluto in Aquarius makes its way through and what happens in the world. We'll probably see changes in the power dynamics, and we'll see power kind of get diffused from the top to down into the hands of the masses. We'll see how that goes. That will happen, though, in the next few days when Pluto moves into Aquarius. Definitely look at the Aquarius part of your chart to see where Pluto things are going in your chart. The Mercury post-retrograde shadow ends January 20th. It went direct on the first day of the year, January 1st. Happy New Year. And if you were working with the Mercury retrograde phase, which I hope you were, now's the time to be wrapping that up. Hopefully you reflected and learned a lot and kind of refined things as they needed to be refined. And now you would be wrapping up implementing any of the changes, the refinements that needed to be made and resolved issues that needed to be resolved. Now it's time to start looking forward, and we won't have a Mercury retrograde again until April the 1st. And of course, mid-March, you can start kind of wrapping up the new stuff and start moving into reflection mode. So if you work with the retrogrades like I do, that's how I do it. I use the retrograde time to definitely reflect back and, review, revise, and realign. And then when it's moving forward, then I'm definitely pushing all of my new things forward. But after having looked to see where there might be some cracks in the foundation that need to be fixed up. There's no planets retrograde from now until April the 1st. So it's kind of like focus forward, use this knowledge as part of your strategy to push yourself forward assertively in January. So to recap and give you some things to do under the Capricorn new moon, remember that Capricorn is a serious, determined, and upwardly focused sign, like as in reaching goals and higher levels. With the new moon, the sun, Mars, and soon Mercury all to be in Capricorn, it's a really good time to put effort into your strategy for 2024. So I've already said that, but I have to say it again. Like if there's one thing that you do under the new moon, if you write like new moon intentions, be sure to think about the whole year, not just January. If you do rituals, then do a new moon ritual with the earth element. Capricorn is an earth element. If the weather permits, do your intention setting outside. Use something from the earth, whether herbs, plants, branches, leaves, dirt, essential oils, things that you can touch. The closer it is to being from the earth, the better. It's not too cold, put your feet on the ground, touch your body to the earth. Go to the ocean or to the sea and stick your feet in the sand. Walk through the grass. Like if you can actually access the earth, that would be a good thing to do under the new moon. The next thing is structure. Put structure in your life wherever it's needed. So think about where you may be lacking structure. Or maybe you're overly structured because, it's always about balance. Like you want to have the right amount of structure. So if something needs more structure, add some structure. Like maybe you need a new calendar app. Maybe you need to plan out your weekly schedule. Maybe you need to rearrange your office so you can be more productive. That's what I've been doing since the beginning of the year, and it's wonderful. It's just so nice to have things in order. The next thing is commitments. So Capricorn, serious sign. It wants to know, how are you doing with your commitments? Are you overcommitted in some area, or are you undercommitted? Is there something that you really want to do, but you haven't been really putting in the effort, the commitment to that goal? Are you overcommitted to something where something is taking so much of your time that it's interfering with the priorities you have in life? Evaluate your commitments and adjust where needed. The next is being realistic. So I've talked a lot about setting your goals. Now I'm going to ask you to look at your goal setting and ask yourself, are my goals realistic? If they're not, then revise them so that they are more realistic. You could use like SMART goals, a specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and have a timing component. And then boundaries. So another good Capricorn Saturn word is holding your boundaries, setting healthy boundaries. Do you need to set boundaries with someone or something in your life? Healthy boundaries are very important for building structure and success in your life. So think about how well you're setting your boundaries and make a strategy for holding healthy boundaries, especially around people and work. That's usually where sometimes we find that we don't have enough healthy boundary setting going on there. And lastly, get your natal chart. If you don't have a copy of your natal chart, get a copy of it and start learning about the different astrology houses and look where Capricorn is so that you can better understand the part of your life that is activated by the Capricorn new moon. And then you'll better be able to understand what astrologers are talking about when they're talking about the planets moving through different signs. In honor of Saturn in Capricorn, I have a quote for you that represents the opportunities that this Capricorn new moon energy can bring to all of us. This one's from Dwayne Johnson, also known as The Rock. And he says, success isn't always about greatness. It's about consistency. Consistent hard work leads to success, and greatness will come. that is very much a representation or a quote that ties in to this Capricorn new moon. I have one more, and this one is from David Rockefeller, who says, success in business requires training and discipline and hard work. But if you're not frightened by these things, the opportunities are just as great today as they ever were before. So there you go. Go out and take on the world, or take on your world. And I wish you much success in 2024. I really appreciate you watching this video. If you enjoyed what you watched today, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And if you'd like to schedule a consultation with me, I have a link below in the description. I'll see you later this month with a video on the next full moon. Thank you. Ciao.